Valentine's Day in 1978. Some people got flowers. Some people got chocolates. And people living in East Central Georgia got the biggest marijuana bust in state history. 13 tons tightly packed in 500 bales stuck in an old cargo plane.
That's right. Sometime around 3 a.m., the pilot of a DC-7 airplane developed problems over the skies of McDuffie County, 30 miles from Augusta. He didn't want to radio for help because packed into his cargo hold was 13 tons of high-grade Colombian marijuana. He was not only a skillful pilot, he was a prepared one. Somehow he knew there was a 5,000-foot landing strip at the Thomson, McDuffie County Airport off Highway 78, so he put the plane down at 3 in the morning.
He was a lucky pilot too, because in landing at 3 in the morning, he had to fly over the Georgia State Patrol Post on Highway 78, which had the regional office of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation right next door. Nobody noticed.
They did notice Valentine's morning when the sun came up to reveal the biggest airplane anyone had ever seen land in McDuffie County. They also found that one of the small Cessna airplanes at the airport had been stolen, but it was found at an airfield south of Atlanta later on. It had marijuana residue in it, and it appeared someone had managed to pack its tiny cabin and cargo space with as much illegal grass as it could hold.
There was a delay before state and federal officers could enter the plane because of a question over the warrants. That delay allowed us reporters to hurry up to McDuffie County. At the Chronicle, we called out our helicopter.
We might have gotten there fast, but we soon were just part of the police and news media crowd. The GBI sent experts from Atlanta. U.S. Customs sent agents from Miami. Local TV was soon being edged out by network reporters.
A narcotics official told me that the plane was actually one of 4 that they suspected of flying into the country from South America the day before. They also said that the plane had been found abandoned a year before in South Carolina, and it had marijuana residue in its hold.
They weren't really sure why the Thomson plane made its emergency landing. There was some indication of oil leaks. There also did not appear to be much fuel left in the tanks. Still, it was a remarkable landing on the airfield, which was lighted overnight but not manned. The plane was processed and its illegal cargo, minus some small samples for evidence purposes, was taken under guard, an agent told me, to a secret location for incineration.
That got me to thinking, where do you go to burn up 13 tons of marijuana? I asked around, some fellas talked, and we found out. They were going to take it to a lumber yard in Wilkes County the next day. Guess who asked if he could borrow the helicopter again?
That is why, if you have a copy of the February 16, 1978 edition of the Augusta Chronicle, you will see a large picture of a giant lumberyard incinerator with the biggest plume of marijuana smoke rising above it. We were told they were burning 12 tons of marijuana, meaning somewhere in transport they had lost a ton.
In the interest of verification and accuracy, we flew the helicopter through the smoke several times. And as President Bill Clinton once said, I did not inhale.
As far as I know, they never found who the skillful pilot was. They never made any arrests, and the old DC-7 was confiscated by the government and returned to its owner after he convinced everyone he had nothing to do with drug smuggling.
A year later, June of 1979, that same plane crashed in California. One fellow was killed, 5 others on board were injured. California authorities said they suspected it was heading to South America to pick up a load of marijuana. They also said it was the same plane that had been abandoned in Thomson the year before with 11 tons of marijuana on board. That raises a question. How did it go from 13 tons to 11 tons? Am I missing something?